Hello everyone, it's Jamarl Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So, interesting news from the Tim Canova camp. So, if you remember, Tim Canova ran against corrupt Deborah Wasserman-Schultz in the 2016, I guess you can say Democratic elections, but in Florida. Tim Canova is running against her again in 2018. Now, Canova was getting a lot of pushback and feedback from people saying, election integrity experts saying, dude, don't just give up on this election. You need to look into the election results. Your election results looks a little fishy. Tim Canova did that. He looked into the election results. He started asking questions. Now, it's him asking these questions, some weird and disturbing events came to fruition. He put in a lawsuit in order to contest the result, not to contest the election, but to look at the results. He wanted to see the ballots. Come to find out, while this was in litigation, they destroyed the ballots. Broward County, they destroyed the ballots. And they said, well, we destroyed the ballots, but we took a photocopy. Well, a photocopy is not necessarily the ballot. You can do whatever you want to do for a copy to make it look like the results that you want to make it look like. They broke the law. They didn't just break federal law, they broke state law. Would there be a consequence? Running in the 2018 election again, he said, I'm done. I'm not running as a Democrat. I'm running as an independent. Tim Canova in this election is going to be running as an independent. Let's take a look at his press clipping. Tim Canova drops Democratic bid to unseat Deborah Wasserman-Schultz. Will run as an independent. Let's see. Tim Canova, a liberal Nova Southeastern University law professor who raised millions in unsuccessful Democratic bid against Deborah Wasserman-Schultz in 2016, announced Monday he will drop out of the Democratic primary for Wasserman-Schultz's Broward district and instead run as an independent. Even as independents, we are the real Democrats in this race, Canova said at a press conference outside Broward County's election supervisor Brenda Snipes' office. Even as we run as independents, I will run as a better Democrat. I did not leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left us. Canova, whose 2016 bid recently received national attention after Senator Bernie Sanders backed him over Wasserman-Schultz, eventually lost the Democratic bid by 14 percentage points. Canova's decision to run as independent gives Wasserman-Schultz a clear path to the Democratic nomination in 2018. Now, the reason he's doing this is pretty straightforward and clear. If you feel like you were cheated in a contest, you feel like you sent off information to various people who are supposed to be affiliated with the party, and those people have done nothing to assist your cause, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to run in a contest and get cheated again? What are you supposed to do? Well, in this case, he's made the decision to not go that path. I would imagine there's a second part of this. And a part that I don't necessarily hear many people talking about, even though it's something that's prevalent if you talk to people who are running in the party. There is a percentage of the base that will not support you if you run as a Democrat. What is Canova to do? You have a large percentage of people who are antagonistic towards anything that has a D on the name. And to make my point here, when I was at the People's Summit, one of the questions that I asked was some of the people who were running, like brand new Congress and Justice Democrats, I would say, are you going to get a headwind by running with the D beside your name? And they would say, we're not Democrats, we're just running under the banner. The reason they would say that, the reason they had that word, or that slang, not slang, but that, you could say that phrase planned, was because they got hit with that a lot. This wasn't the first time somebody said it. I hadn't talked to anyone else. This was me asking because I knew it was probably going to be an issue, and it was them having something already prepared for it because they've been asked the question over and over and over and over again. Me doing my channel has come across many people saying I would never vote for anyone with a Democrat beside their name ever again in life. I don't necessarily know how you're going to know what you're going to do in 20 years, but whatever. Their feeling and their sentiment is real. If you're interrogating their motivations right now at this moment, that is as real can be. How on earth can Tim Canova get elected as a Democrat when a large percentage of his base says, I am not voting for anybody with a D beside their name? I like you, Tim Canova. I think you're perfectly nice. but I don't want you to be a part of that machine. And if you're going to be part of that machine, as nice as I think you are, as pleasant as a person as I think you'd be, as great as I think you'd in that office, you would not get my vote. Won't get it. There was another candidate I talked to, same thing. That person also jumped ship. I'm not going to bring his name up because we never talked about him saying this, but he also jumped ship. He also decided, yeah, I can't run the Democratic Party. My base, the people who I need to support me, are not going to support me if I'm running as a Democrat. Yes, you may get Hillbots. Yes, you may get people who are run-of-the-mill Democrats. But the problem is your base, Canova's base, the base of some of these lefties, have been burned and scarred and refuse to go back to the hot skillet. He's running as independent. It's not necessarily as easy to run as an independent, so I understand. But he's running as an independent. Tim Canova needs your support. I would say that if you're a Democrat, he's still Tim Canova. Meaning, if you're a Democrat and you voted for Canova, he's still Tim Canova. If you're a lefty and you're like, yes, fair game, well, now he's fair game. In both cases, he's running against the corrupt and disgraced Deborah Wasserman Schultz, who essentially gave over the reins of the Democratic National Committee to Hillary Clinton, cheating Bernie Sanders. If you want to get her ass out that seat, if you want to unseat her by somebody who's a real lefty, who's literally fighting election fraud, this would be your opportunity to do it. Get her ass out of that seat. Voting for Tim Canova would be the way to do it. Tim Canova is now running as an independent. Here's your chance. All right, guys. Have a good one.